This Isak situation is getting techie. So I just thought I'll sit down as a Liverpool fan, break down what I think it is. People, let's get into it. Yes, people, welcome back to the channel. It has been more than a minute. And I apologize to everybody who's been asking where I have been and what's been going on. As you know already, Kop-ish is the baby. That was where my original energy was always going to be. And that's where it always remains. But I started my channel so that I could talk about other stuff, which is what I will be doing this season. I'll be getting back at it. Don't worry, I'm going to be active. The gaming's going to be coming back. Everything's going to be coming back, guys. DRIFTY TV will be in full effect for this season. And we've got to start somewhere. So I thought, what better place to start than the Alexander Isak situation, which is crazy. Now, this won't be a long video. This is just me giving my opinion on the way he's been treated, the way he's acted, based on what we know, right? Because none of these are facts. We're getting a lot of information through third parties, and there's a lot of rumors. So we have absolutely no idea what exactly is going down. Now, I want to start by letting everybody know that I do not condone what he's done in terms of like not turning up for training, not going on the tour, that kind of stuff. I don't agree with that. I didn't agree when Van Dijk did it. I didn't agree when players we've had have done it. Obviously, you feel it way more. Coutinho pretending he was injured, Mascherano pretended he was injured, that type of thing. I don't like any of that stuff. You have to remain professional. And I'm not going to be a hypocrite just because the player is going to be coming to Liverpool and act like it's okay. It's not. I've seen a few people saying that, what if he does that to you? We will be livid. As Liverpool fans, we would be livid if he did that to us. Look what Trent did. You know what I mean? We know how it feels. This is just football, I guess, right? So what goes around comes around, etc., etc., etc. Sometimes you're on the receiving end and sometimes you're the beneficiary. That's just life, right? So I just want to get it out of the way. I don't condone what he's done. Putting that to one side, though, and again, I'm trying to be as objective and unbiased as possible here. I'm not looking at it only from a Liverpool point of view. I'm trying my best to look at it from all angles, right? Now, coming by way of David Ornstein, big up Ornstein, 2 weeks before the season ended, Isak told Eddie Howe of his wish to leave and reiterated that on a call to the manager before flying to Sweden after the final game against Everton. Now, that suggests to me that straight away, the club have known for a while. Apparently, he actually let the club know way before that, even when he was meant to get a new contract, before they did like some hierarchy change. And obviously, that promise didn't go through in the end. I feel really torn on the whole situation when I hear this, because again, you can understand where Newcastle are coming from in terms of like their annoyance that he doesn't want to stay or whatever. But I can also understand why Isak, regardless of who the club he's going to, if it's a higher club with more chance of winning things, at 25, 26 years old now, he's thinking, if I don't get my move now, what move could be possible in a year or two's time? Football changes so quickly. And a year or 2 years in football is such a long time. Like, it really is. So he tells them, now it's up to them. Is it his fault that Newcastle, with all due respect, for this summer, have been incompetent? They are all over the place. They have no director of football. Eddie Howe's nephew and Eddie Howe are the ones who were doing it. I don't even think Eddie Howe's nephew has any real experience in football in terms of like doing that role. Eddie Howe was supposed to be having a holiday and he had to come back because they said, look, you got to deal with this now. And everything's all over the place. If you look at Newcastle's recruitment this summer, it's been nothing short of disgraceful. Yeah, they are losing out to clubs who are bigger than them, which isn't no shame, because losing players to Chelsea and Man United and Liverpool, that's the natural hierarchy of the league. It might sound elitist. It is a little bit bad mind. Newcastle fans ain't going to want to hear that. But life is life, right? The more powerful people, the richer people, they generally get what they want. That's just how life is. It's fucked up. It is what it is. Losing out to those teams isn't really bad. But that's only if you look at it from a logical point of view. If you're looking at it from the point of view that players will be the fans themselves, every time you get a rejection, it just makes you look worse and worse and worse and worse. And there is a long list. I'm not even going to bother go through the list. That's not what I'm here for. We know the list from Mbuemo's to Sesko's. We know crazy how many targets they've missed out on. And Isak's going to be looking at that, and it's going to be making him want to leave even more, because he's thinking, my word. Now, it might even have something to do with it. Some of these players might have heard through the grapevine. They might be like, well, if I'm coming to this team, it's to play with all the best players. If the best player's leaving, then, you know what I mean? It's a tricky one. I don't know why there are so many people who are coming out with opinions on it who have got nothing to do with Liverpool and Newcastle. With all due respect, I don't think it's any of their business, whether they're in the public or whether they're just people on Twitter. Again, everybody can give their opinion, we know. But like, your opinion isn't needed if you're not a Liverpool or a Newcastle fan. Again, with all due respect. You can give it, but nobody gives a shit. But what's crazy is that every non-Newcastle or Liverpool fan who's given their opinion, all they're doing is just going ham on Isak. And I truly believe that that doesn't necessarily have anything to do with just Isak. Although, of course, I'm guessing there are some people who have strong morality, you know, and that kind of thing, where they're like, you know, morally he should be doing it. Because, like I said, I don't agree with it on the overall. Like, I genuinely don't agree with it overall. I do think that it is bad for him to be behaving this way, and he's got a contract with the team. Like, I do think that's bad. So I'm not condoning the behavior once again, but nobody's trying to look at it from his point of view outside. They're all just grilling him. They're dragging his name. And I'll be honest with you, I think those people are doing it out of pure fear for what Liverpool will become when we get this superstar. That's what it is. And again, I'm not trying to make it about us. I'm not trying to do that self-absorbed thing as a Liverpool fan. I just don't think anybody can deny if they're being true to themselves. And I'm sure the Liverpool fans that are watching this will agree with me. You are all shit scared of what Liverpool are going to achieve if we pull this off on top of what we've already done. And that's why you're angry. You're annoyed at Isak. You're annoyed at Newcastle, because it could happen. And if it does happen, you want him at your club, or you don't like the idea of Liverpool being this powerful. I get that, though. Hating, like, just hate on us all you want. Yeah. And it kind of fills me with joy, if this happens, to know how annoyed you all are, the rivals. Because, like always, every day, all day, it's fuck the rivals, with all due respect. You know what I mean? I could have some Liverpool rivals who are followers of, or supporters of me, and subscribers to the channel. It's all love. You lot know how it goes. It is what it is. You lot will be doing the same thing. It's called friendly rivalry / fuck y'all. It is what it is. But I do believe that that's what the situation is from the non-Newcastle and Liverpool fans. I think you lot just hate Liverpool. And that's why I think people are going so ham. We don't want to do the whole, oh, why is everyone against us? We love it. If you don't have haters, you're not doing anything right. Yeah, everybody knows. When you got haters, it means you're winning. So we will take as many haters as we can, because we're winning. But you are only grilling Isak because you hate Liverpool. And in the media, I really do see just way too much Liverpool hate. If anything happens, it's always more magnified than it is if it's any of the other teams. Look at some of the reckless behavior teams like Chelsea and Man United have done over the years. Like, I mean, just the dumbest shit you've ever seen in your life. Nobody really talks about it. Nobody really... Chelsea have spent over £2 billion, if I'm not mistaken, in 3 years. Haven't won anything until they just won the Club World Cup. And nobody was really on their back. Nobody was grilling them. Nobody was really going in on them. I know Gary Neville did call them the £1 billion bottle jobs. But other than that, nobody's really said anything about them. And they spent all that money. And if Liverpool spent £2 billion and hadn't won anything, you have absolutely no idea the scrutiny we would be under. Absolutely no idea. Arsenal have spent close to £1 billion and won nothing. People are still saying, no, but Arteta, give him time. He's a good manager. The fuck? If any Liverpool manager went 5.5, 6.5, 7 years and only won one trophy in the first 6 months and hadn't won nothing since with £1 billion spent, do you know how we'd be getting grilled? Jurgen Klopp used to get criticism and he was up against the greatest Man City team you've ever seen in your life and he won every trophy and he still got criticised. And Arteta's getting fuck all criticism from outside of Arsenal. What? So I just think the scrutiny is always heavier on Liverpool for whatever the reason may be. Let the haters hate. Let them do what they do. We love it. But I think that's what the issue is. From a Newcastle point of view, I totally understand where they're coming from. We just went through it with Trent. They're burning the shirt. He's a rat. He's a traitor. I get all of that. And Newcastle fans are 100% entitled to feel and say whatever they feel about Isak. The only thing I will say to any Newcastle fan watching this is try just a little bit. And I'm not being condescending when I'm saying this. I'm genuinely not. But there is a hierarchy. Newcastle United will most likely not win a major for years. He has a short career. He's just trying to get the most out of his career. If he was 21, 22 years old, like he was when he signed for Newcastle, I promise you he wouldn't be doing this. But he's 25, 26 years old now, and he's realizing that he's in the middle of his career. He could only have another 4 or 5 years left, maybe 1 or 2 contracts left to sign in that time. He's halfway through his career at 26 years old. He's just trying to win the majors. When I say the majors, I mean Champions League and the Premier League. Also take into consideration that over the last 12 to 24 months, Isak, not alone, but very much so, has been the reason why you've won. The reason why you just got your first trophy in nearly 70 years. The reason why you had joy this season. Yes, you've got Bruno Guimaraes and Tonali and other players who were absolutely brilliant players who I'd take at Liverpool. But you didn't win a game last season, if I'm not mistaken, without Isak. Don't quote me on that, but I did hear a stat that said that Newcastle didn't actually win a match that Isak didn't play in. He pretty much was the reason why you were who you were last season, why you did what you did. Not alone, but you know what I mean. That is a very telling stat. Maybe just appreciate the fact he's outgrown you, love what he did for you, and again, I'm not trying to be patronizing or condescending, but know your place in the food chain. You aren't up to keeping a player of his quality. His standards have risen. I know that's going to be difficult, and I know Newcastle fans will hate me for saying that, but I'm just trying to be honest. And from a Liverpool point of view, I just want to tell the Liverpool fans, we cannot be hypocrites and we cannot act that we don't understand why Newcastle are angry or what the situation is. It is a liberty what he's doing in terms of refusing to play and all that stuff. And we do have to hope he doesn't do it to us. I think the situation will be totally different with us in regards to because I've heard for example, Bonglahor was just on this mad rant about how he sold this and he sold that and rare. Bonglahor, you would have probably done the same first. And I don't think the example he used of if Real Madrid come in for us and he'll do it to Liverpool, because a lot of this is about wages. He's only on 120 grand a week and he's the best striker in the world, arguably. Why would he be content on that? And Newcastle can't afford to pay him more. And they refused to give him a new contract last year when he asked for one. Liverpool will probably put him in about 250 to 300, and we can afford to up wages if need be. So he won't be as easy to poach away from Liverpool as he is to poach away from Newcastle. Hopefully he'll win stuff with us, so his hunger will be quenched when it comes to that as well. So the circumstances are completely different between if another club came in to try and take him from Liverpool, which I think Real Madrid are the only club that could do that, and him leaving Newcastle. There is a food chain and there's an order. This is just how it is. So, again, I understand everybody's angle. I really do. But at the end of the day, I felt like shit when Trent did what he did. So it's time for us to feel good. So I hope it happens. I will not hold any grudges against him. Um, you know, he said he is adamant he will not play for Newcastle again, even if the window closes without the 25-year-old, without the exit. The 25-year-old turning 26 soon views his Newcastle career as over. He has no wishes to reintegrate. The club say he is not for sale, but exploring the market, and Liverpool interest remains. So it's just one of them things, guys, where I think he's just doing this to make sure that they know what's the point in keeping him. And it is effed up, but Newcastle are holding him ransom at the moment. And he feels like this is his way to get out. Uh, It's getting messy, it's getting sticky, but I think everybody has a part to play in this, and everybody is to blame in this. I don't just think there's one team or there's one person or one individual. You can't just blame Isak. You can't just blame Newcastle. You can't just blame Liverpool. Everybody has played their part in this. And unfortunately, this is football. It sucks when you're on the end of it, and it's amazing when you're a beneficiary. It sucked when we lost Trent. It was amazing when we signed Van Dijk. It sucked when we lost Coutinho. And that would be amazing if we buy Isak. Like, it happens. This is football. This is football. So, big up the damn selves every time, people. That was just my little take on it. I'm sure I'll be touching on this situation again. And welcome back. I'm back, people. Leave a comment. Subscribe if you're new. Put that notification bell on. Tomorrow, Wednesday, the 13th, will most probably when I try to come with a live show for you guys. Let's talk transfer. Let's talk about all the rivals, what they've been doing. I shouldn't even call them rivals on this channel, because even though you all know I'm a Liverpool fan, this channel I created for talking about other teams. So it sounds like I'm only talking to Liverpool fans when I say rivals. But I'm not, because I'm going to talk about Man U, and if you're an Arsenal fan, you can be here. I'm going to talk about City, so if you're a Chelsea fan, you can be here. It is what it is. But people, love as always. Big up your damn selves. Subscribe if you're new. Smash that like button, and I'll see you next time. Peace! Didn't press end stream. I'm out, peeps.